Hello, you're tuning into Uni Tunes, the show where we seek to showcase the soundscapes of Australian music. I'm Fynn,
I'm Archie.
and today we're honoured to be talking to Melbourne-based artist KIAN. Thank you so much for joining us today. How are you?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me. Excited to jump on a podcast. I don't know if I've really done many podcasts before, so it should be fun.
So before we get into it, we want to acknowledge and pay our respect to the traditional custodians of the lands we're on, the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation.
Blending elements of rap, R&B, and alternative rock, KIAN is taking his fans on a ride into a brand new era of his music. But that's enough from us. Would you like to introduce yourself, KIAN?
Yeah, what's up? My name's KIAN. That's my artist name. It's also my real name, so just to dox myself real quick. But yeah, I've been making music for a while now. I started in high school. Started writing songs when I was probably 14 years old. Now I'm 22, so I'm still not that old, but I'm just I feel like a little bit of a veteran because I've been going at it for a while now. But yeah, it's good, man. I think I'm really loving the direction that my music's taken over the years, and I think I'm finally in a place where I feel like I've found something I'm super comfortable with doing. I think early stages it's super. I was just exploring, and it was everything was super new, so I was just kind of trying whatever I felt like trying at the time. So it's cool to finally feel like I found my pocket and something that I can see myself doing for a long time.
So we're here today to talk about your new single then, My Release, which is a song all about finding the peace inside of yourself. Firstly, has letting this song out into the world been a cathartic experience for you?
Yeah, for sure. I think honestly, all the music off the album feels that way for me. I think when I write songs, I'm always writing for cathartic reasons and just to talk about things that either I don't talk about or talk about things that I haven't been able to say a certain way. So it's always cool to see that in the form of a song. I think as well because music is art in a way, it is art. So it's people that can also take those experiences and view it in their own way, and hopefully it's able to help people. Get messages from people about my past music and stuff, talking about how it's ways it's affected them or changed their life in a way, which is crazy for me because I guess at the start it's all just for fun, and then I think it's always great when you can have a positive impact on someone's life, or whether it's small or big, either way. I guess that's what you do it for at the end of the day. So yeah.
Yeah, well, this song has a really brilliant bridge where the track builds up to this euphoric release, pun intended, in the final chorus. So how did you work with your producers, Pip and Rob, to have the music itself representative of the subject matter?
Honestly, I feel at the time it was just what happened, just naturally ended up being that way. But yeah, making the whole project and this song in particular, it was probably the first time I had found music super easy to make. It was I think we had just clicked with each other so much that there wasn't even a lot of thinking involved. It was just following whatever we were following at the time, and the three of us brought something different to the songs, so we were able to kind of cover all ground. This song in particular, we wrote it first in Sydney, so we were just in a studio for the day. We'd already done a couple of sessions together, and yeah, we just started writing, and straight away the hook kind of came out, and then that turned into us going and recording it, and then the verses came out, and it was all super natural. I guess I'm just explaining how you write a song, so it doesn't sound that crazy, but I think when you are in the studio a lot, you realize it's not all the time when things just click straight away. Sometimes you're there kind of wasting away trying to make something work that isn't quite coming in the way you want it to. So I think yeah, it's always special when you find that song that just somehow just writes itself. And I think production wise, this song, definitely we were going for more of a euphoric feel towards the end of the song, with the verses feeling a bit more raw and not too spaced out. But yeah, I just really love the way it evolves and how at the end it feels you really send home the feeling of the song. So yeah, I guess you hit the nail on the head, I think, with your question as well. That's exactly what we're trying to go for. So I'm glad it comes across.
Yeah, awesome. And you spoke about how this song it almost wrote itself because it allowed you to say those things that you maybe can't say outside of your music, or is a bit more challenging. So how big of a part is introspection in writing, vulnerable lyrics such as the one in a track like this?
Yeah, I think it's all of it. Like, I think like my writing style is super introspective. Like, I think other people maybe don't write that way or prefer not to. Or I know, I think like in ways it's really good, and in ways maybe it's challenging because it's so personal and it's so I'm talking about myself in a way, at least to me. So like sometimes maybe when other people listen to it, I don't know how it feels for them, but like I hope that it feels like I'm talking to them or they're talking to themselves. It's like super important to me to like kind of keep grounded and kind of keep introspective, because otherwise I can get lost in it all. You know, I like being able to like think about the reasons why I feel a certain way and try to take away as much as I can out of it in a positive way. Because definitely times where like you can get bogged down in all the negative stuff in life, and you know, there's always challenges. But I think like if you can learn from it and come out the other side a better person and come out the other side with new skills and ways of looking at life, then you know you're always going to end up being in a better place. Although it's easier said than done, but I don't know. That's the philosophy I try to hold.
Yeah, great. So the track's also accompanied by a really cool music video that has you wearing a suit and tie in an office space, buried in papers. What were you hoping to explore in the meaning of the song through that music video?
Yeah, good question. I think like initially we would kind of, so I made the music video with a few people. One of the people who was directing it mainly was Matt Wilson, who I work with on most of my stuff, pretty much everything. So he's incredible. And then he also has another person working with him, Aaron Wilson, and together Aaron Wilson. I just mixed both their freaking names up. Aaron Bull and Matt Wilson. They have a collective called Awe Studios, and then there's also another two people, Reggie and Aria, who have another kind of studio called Have You Stopped Growing. So all of them are friends, and it's cool to like come together and think of an idea. And Matt sort of had this idea of like envisioning this massive pile of paper in a room. And I guess like through the song, we were trying to like, I think it was almost like that room was like symbolic of like an internal kind of feeling. So it's like, you know, you have all these thoughts going on. Like it's like meant to be, I'm writing down everything I'm thinking in my head and I'm like chucking it out. And then like I'm sitting on this giant pile of thoughts when like, you know, where are they going to go? They're just sitting there in a big pile. And I think like throughout the song, you can see me like continuing to write. And I think at the end, you see like I'm sitting on top of the pile, like laying down on top of the pile. But then it goes back to the car and I'm laying on top of the car. So it's like, you know, I guess it's meant to be all in the set. It's all happening at once, but it's like not two separate people. It's like the same person. I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of a bit trippy, but like that's what we're trying to go for.
No, it's a great video, super creative, and that all comes through. Now your new song, it's the latest single from your forthcoming debut album titled "Wake Up, You're Falling." What can we expect from the full record when it's out on November 1st?
I think like I think you can expect like more of, you know, the same in terms of just like general feelings. Yeah, I think like what we can expect is like more of the same in terms of like what the songs would bring to the table sonically. Some of the songs are super kind of leaning left. There's even like one that's almost a little bit more like in a jungle vibe, which is crazy. But then like I don't know, just I think I had a goal when we were making the album, and it was to like make something that felt super cohesive. So I'm hoping that like when people actually listen to the body of work from start to finish, they can kind of see the progression that I was hoping to like articulate. I think you can expect some stuff that's maybe less like singly and less feels like a pop song. But yeah, honestly, it was so hard to pick what songs were going to come out and what songs were going to just stay on the album. So yeah, honestly, it could have gone anyway. So I'm hoping that the songs all feel like really strong and people can see how much effort and time we put into creating them.
So it sounds like you've got a really diverse range of sounds on the album, and you know, from the high octane track, "The Way" to the more melancholic "Regrets." What are some of the common threads that you've tied through the different ideas explored on the record?
I think again, like a lot of it, it's all kind of like an internal. It's almost like an internal monologue for me. It's like a bit of a battle. It's like a bit of trying to figure out what's going on. The idea of like the album, it wasn't really like meant to be like a conceptual album, but there's the thread that kind of ties it all together is probably like within the title, like "Wake Up, You're Falling." And I guess in that sense, it was all about how in life, I think, I know for me this makes sense. It might make sense to other people too, but in life, I've always tried to like find a sense of control over things and try to like find that sense of balance. And I think the mistake in doing that is that control isn't really in your hands, and like you can't, there's so many things in life that you can't change no matter what you do. So I think trying not to get caught up in that and just trying to live in the moment and not being so worried about what's going to happen or what you did wrong, and rather than that, doing that, trying to focus on what you can do right now, and that is like be present and like live your life in the moment. So that was like the general idea. So I guess it's all about the battle trying to accomplish that. So yeah, that's like a quick summary. It's probably a lot deeper, but I don't want to waste your time.
No, that's really interesting because I feel like that resonates a lot with my interpretation of one of your other singles on the album, Ultraviolet, which reflects on the expectations and reality of growing up and things maybe not going quite as you would have hoped or as you thought you could have controlled. I mean, interesting. You described yourself early in the interview as somewhat of a veteran. You were only in year 10 when you won Triple J Unearthed with the song Waiting. So if you were to look back, what would you tell your 16-year-old self about how things have gone?
I think like I would say that they should listen to themselves. I think like that's an important thing. I think like when I was younger and new to the industry, like there was so much going on. Everything was like moving so fast. I don't think I had a lot of time to like think about decisions or think about things or be ready. And I think whenever like a young artist like in high school talks to me now and like asks for some advice, I just always say to take their time. You know, I think as much as like things like Unearthed High are incredible and create so many big opportunities for people, I think it can also be difficult if you're not super ready for the moment. I think like me, I was just coming from like a small town. Music was so new to me. It was just kind of something I stumbled across, and it's definitely something I wanted to do as a career. But you know, being so young is like there were so many things missing. It was like, did I have the catalog to like be ready to like start releasing music? Probably not. Did I have like a really solid team around me to like help support my creative vision? Probably not. Did I have like, there's all these things missing, which I think bigger artists and artists who are further along in their career I kind of build over time. So I feel like now I'm definitely in a better spot in terms of all that stuff. But yeah, that's what I'd say. I'd say just like listen to your gut, do the things that make you happy, because at the end of the day, you don't want to like hate making music. You want to like be happy and keep having fun with what you're doing. So I think, yeah, that's what I'd say to my young self.
Yeah, thanks for that. That's really great advice. So speaking of Triple J, earlier this year you were back on Triple J for Like a Version, covering Weezer's Island in the Sun. Can you walk us through the process of selecting and reconstructing this iconic song?
Honestly, it was like the hardest decision I ever made in my life. No, it was like, yeah, it actually was though. Like, they've asked me to do it a few times, like, and I just like didn't do it because I didn't know what song to do. It was like my head was like, I don't want to like pick the wrong song. I don't want to like, do I do an old song? Do a new song? Do I do something really obscure? Like, can I do something really obscure? There was like too many questions, and I get like anxiety with that stuff. So I'm just like, you know what? The best thing to do is just not do it. Like, I don't want to be a part of this. And then like got to the point where it was like, you're just avoiding this because you can't be bothered finding what song. And then so I was like, fine, we'll figure it out. So I made like a list of like, my short list was like 7 songs, so it wasn't really a short list. But like I said that, and I was like, which song can I do? And then like luckily Weezer came back, was one of the ones I really wanted to do. So yeah, it's also like a song that I feel like everyone like kind of knows it, even if you're not a Weezer fan. Like a lot of people just know the song because it's been in like movies, and it's, you just hear it out when you're out and about, maybe at a bar or something. I don't know. So yeah, I don't know. Weezer, they're all kind of like nerdy guys. I feel like I resonate with that in a sense, just being like a nerd myself. So yeah, it all makes sense.
Well, Weezer aren't the only ones with songs in movies. You've had a song featured on the Heartbreak High soundtrack, and that's one of many pretty epic moments in your career. You sung on the hook with Baked Boys Cloud 9. There's been a few things. So looking back, what's been one of the biggest pinch me moments?
Man, I think like the biggest pinch me moment was like I played Splendor in the Grass, and like it was like during like the middle of the day, and I had like a packed out tent, and everyone was like singing Waiting back. I thought that was pretty crazy. I think at the time, like I was struggling a lot with just adjusting, and I think in that moment it was like I didn't even have to sing the song. Everyone was just singing it, and I was just standing there. It was just like, I think I have footage of it somewhere, but yeah, it's just crazy. It's crazy to think that like someone from like a small town in Victoria could like put like I don't even know how many thousands. There was thousands of people in this tent, so I was just like, it was just weird to me. I just didn't ever really see myself being in that situation. So yeah, it's definitely one of those feelings that like I hope I get to feel again sometime in the near future. But yeah, that's 100% my pinch me moment.
So you've also won multiple APRA awards, and you're a two-time ARIA nominee, which are huge accomplishments. Do these achievements lead to a shift in your mindset when the next time you're recording in the studio?
I think like any awards and stuff, it's never something I think I have on my mind as like I need to do this. It's not like the main goal for me, but I think every time like you get that kind of recognition, it does help to know that like you're doing the right thing or like you're on the right path, and people are kind of giving you your flowers in that sense. But yeah, I don't know. It was a weird one. Like the APRA awards was funny. Like it was during like COVID, so it was like the it was like the virtual awards. You had to like they live streamed. It was like a live stream thing. So I missed my like moment where I had to get up on stage and like do a speech. I've just never been able to do it. So like I was like, damn, I could have done two speeches and tried to like. I was like in my head, I was like, I would have done the craziest thing, like mic drop moment. I don't know. So I didn't get to do that, and I actually forgot that it was on, and I didn't even like I missed it. And then like everyone was like me on my phone was like, congratulations, and I was like, for what? Like, what have I done? And they were like, you just won like the two APRAs, and I was like, yeah. I was like baking cookies at the time with my girlfriend, and then I was like, oh man, that's so funny. But yeah, at the end of the day, an award is an award. Super grateful for like any nominations that come my way, and obviously like in the future, hopefully I can make music worthy of awards in the future as well. So yeah.
And hopefully, when that time comes, you can have your mic drop moment on stage.
Yeah, I don't know what I'll practice it in the mirror for like weeks before.
Well, looking back to when you decided you were gonna be serious about music, what do you think has been one of the key catalysts between now and then that is the reason you're where you are now?
I think it's definitely like a support network around me. I think like having like friends and family that are supportive of my goals, my dreams. I feel like that helps, because if I didn't have that, I feel like not that I would have given up, but like it just would have been a lot harder to believe in myself. So I'm really glad that I have that. And yeah, I think it's just it's just like having that love still for music. I think like there was definitely times where it's been very hard. I think recently like the industry is in a bit of a weird state at the moment. I think a lot of people are feeling like, at least a lot of artists I've been talking to, and even like other people within the music industry, have been feeling a little bit lost or a little bit confused about what the future looks like. So it can definitely be hard sometimes. Like it's the classic thing of like, the music industry is a tough place, man. You never know what's going to happen, or like there's a lot of like cliches, but in a way it's definitely true. Like in a place like Australia, we haven't got like a massive population to support the arts, and we haven't got a government that supports the arts, so it's hard to keep it going. It all comes off the back of like the people who are constantly working on it, like whether it's volunteers, whether it's artists and producers and labels putting on shows or whatever it is. Like that stuff is what keeps the scene alive. So I guess like there's moments where it does feel very difficult, but yeah, again, it's just about trying to keep the love for the music, trying to do things that make you happy. Because otherwise, what are you doing it for?
You've hit the nail on the head there. I completely agree with you. And it's interesting that you say that the Australian music industry specifically is in a bit of a weird spot. From your point of view, what do you think is the future for Australian music?
I think the future is bright. I think there's like so many talented people in the scene here. People I know, people I don't know. Like, it's funny. Like you see a lot of times, like people from overseas, like seeing these little hidden gems here and realizing like how good people are. I think people don't give themselves enough credit, and I think like our own country doesn't give ourselves enough credit just in terms of like people listening to the music. As much as like I think part of the problem is that music is like more accessible than it's ever been. So it gets to a point where like how valuable can music be if it's so accessible? I think that's the where the problem lies. Because like anyone can sign up to a streaming platform and listen to a billion songs whenever they want, or someone can like go on TikTok and listen to a song on TikTok, or like there's not really much of a reason for people to like go that extra mile and really support an artist financially. So that's where it gets hard. I think that's like, there needs to be some kind of shift there. I don't know what that looks like for Australia, and I don't have the answers. It's like, it seems like a very complicated situation, but I hope that the near future holds a good change, and I hope that like the right people keep getting the support they need. I hope all the communities that maybe haven't gotten support through the last 20, 30 years continue to get the support they need. So yeah, I can see a bright future, but there definitely needs to be change for that to happen.
So that's just about all we have time for, but we like to wrap up each interview by asking our guests to suggest 2 songs for our ever-growing Uni Tunes playlist. One of those songs is going to be your own song, and the other one is going to be a song from another Aussie artist that you like. So go ahead and give us your recs.
Yeah, all right. I think the song I will say listen to is my new song, my release, because it's my new song, so I'm going to plug myself. And then there's like, it's hard to just pick one local act to give a song for. Can I do like honorable mentions? Is that
Go for it.
You're on record.
So honorable mentions, I'm going to give an honorable mention to Armlock. They're a band out of Melbourne. One of the members of the band, Simon Lamb, actually mixed my album, and he's an amazing songwriter and producer and mixer. Kind of one of those people that does everything. So they dropped an album. It's super cool. I'm going to say like their song Ice Cold is probably like one of my favorites off the album. That song's an honorable mention. There's an artist named Friday from Sydney who's super talented. He produces his own stuff. He writes his songs. It's very unique. I don't think anyone else is kind of in his pocket in Australia right now. So shouts out to Friday. I think like a song that I think everyone will love is Beaming. I think it's his biggest song. But my song to pick is from Becca Hatch, who is an incredible artist, and I co-wrote her EP with her, which is honestly like one of the best EPs. I reckon. I'm not just saying that because I'm biased. I am biased, but like it's one of the best EPs come out of Australia, in my opinion. I think a song from her to listen to. If you like dance music, I'd say Bass Keeps Calling. But if you like kind of like a slower R&B pop kind of dreamy vibe, her song Crash is really, really amazing. I think the story behind it is super powerful, and yeah, that's the song I'm picking.
Thanks so much. Some great recommendations right there. All right. Well, before we send you off, if anyone listening likes what they hear, where can they find your music or see you live?
You can find my music pretty much anywhere you can listen to music legally, and that is YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, whatever you use. It's just KIAN in all capitals. That's me. And on socials, you can find me. Most of my socials is KIAN, full stop, Brownfield, which is, I just docked myself on. It's just my it's my actual name, but here's what it is.
Name.
Yeah. So that and if you want to see me live, I'm going to be planning some small pop-up shows around in your city around the album, so keep an eye and an ear out for that. So that's what I can say. Thanks so much for having me, guys.
Thanks so much for joining us.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for your great answers.
Appreciate it. Have a great day, and yeah, keep killing it.